It's not Friday already.
I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games show. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games show.
It's the Retrogames show.
Because it looks a bit like a mushroom. Oh yeah! Yes!
The Retrogames show.
Hello! Yes, it is me, Jace, at Retrogames! Yeah, Retro Games, and this is retro, isn't it? This is super retro. It's been a big week for PlayStation fans. We're gamers, we can talk about new stuff, can't we? Can I? Can I please talk about new stuff? Great week for PlayStation fans. It was PSVR 2's week, and I got my PSVR 2. Looks like it's a bit broken, but I think that's just the design of it. It does look like a gap. So you see this top edge? Doesn't it look like the plastic has popped out? But it's ventilation apparently. It's been stop it steaming up in there. And there's a little Sony logo that's visible. But you just want to push that down and just like, oh, that's come unclipped. Do you know what I'm on about? Anyway, some of you guys might have got one of these this week too. If you're, if you're still into the new stuff, they still make. I know. They still make new games. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. They still make new stuff. They haven't stopped making it. Anyway. Can I talk about PSVR before we get on? A little bit, just a little bit. I have, like everything else, like all games consoles, I've had everything from the day it came out, and that includes all of VR stuff. So I started with the Oculus DK1, and then the Oculus Rift, and then Vive, and all those brilliant headsets. Valve One and. Quest, obviously Quest 1, Quest 2, Quest Go even, PSVR 1. I love VR. I mean, you can be inside a game. If you have, I can't believe that some of you guys won't have experienced VR yet, but of all those years we spend looking at games on flat screens, you can be inside the game. Inside. The first time I think, very simple game. I remember on the Vive, I loved the Vive, the first Vive when it came out. And Steam VR with your lighthouse trackers. Brilliant fun, but I remember there was some really basic like racquetball games, but all in that neon day glow 1980s, rock solid bat and ball games, thrashing bats around electronic balls. It encapsulated so many retro themes. They felt like the rebirth of so many classic games. I mean, Space Pirate Trainer. It's just you with a shield and a gun just taking out aliens in space. It's like you're in Space Invaders. So even if you only think you like retro concepts and retro style games, there is so much in VR for you to love. Anyway, that's just VR in general. Because I can't talk about it because I've played everything day release. I'm an idiot. Everything. What did I think of PSVR 2? Well, firstly, yeah, the cable. Everyone moaned about the cable. It's not too bad because what you get for having that cable, and forget about the connection with the PSVR, with the PS5, because okay, it's super fast, connected to the PS5. It means you can have PS5 style games on this thing. As good as the best of PC VR. But let's be honest, okay, the PS5, it's an expensive console. It's like nearly 500 quid. But it's a lot cheaper than buying a decent gaming PC to play similarly quality games. Well, just in my opinion anyway. PS5, still brilliant. Console, where was I? My brain can't keep up with my own talking. So you'll know that from recent episodes. Anyway, the beauty of this is there's no internal battery, of course. And we've had Quest, and we've seen a whole downslide in quality of VR with Quest 2. It's not capable of running, really decent high fidelity games. So, okay, bring back the cable, move the batteries back to the unit, that's supplying the gaming power, and what you get is the most. I'm putting this out. This is the most comfortable VR headset I've used, and I've used them all. I did not get an Oculus Pro. I did do a little bit on the channel, didn't I? Slagging it off a bit. Oculus Pro, very disappointing VR headset from the end of last year. But everyone says that it's really, really uncomfortable and heavier than Quest 2. This is light. It's light. I could throw it. I'm not going to throw it because I don't want to break it. Now, the other thing is, what about the screen? Proper blacks. It's a fantastic gasket. The gasket there around your face, super squashy. I know there's millions of videos on YouTube of people talking about PS5 VR2, but you know, why let me? I'm just going to cover it a little bit. From a retro gamer's perspective, from a gaming historian's perspective. No, what I would say is fantastic. They've really, really honed so many other people's ideas. I mean, this Halo strap is so much more comfortable than, say, the Quest 2, even the third party or the super duper, you know, pro straps. This is so much nicer, really soft, and Sony, they really do things properly, don't they? That is the feeling I get from this. And I'll tell you something they won't talk about in any of the other channels. If you're also got VR stuff and you've had new VR consoles before, there's a certain smell, like the Oculus consoles when they came, there's a certain smell, and it's got that same smell. It's a new VR headset smell. It's a bit like new car smell, and it's got it. It's got it. It was a big relief when I opened it and put my nose in it and think, oh, I'm back in a new world of VR. Now, let's talk about a little bit about the content. People have said, oh, Sony aren't putting out any proper games for it. They're not making much stuff. They just put one game, Call of the Wild. Call of the Wild, yes, a full-size, full-scale, big game with loads of interaction and amazing physics-related grabbing things and smashing things and shooting at things, and yeah, brilliant. Lots of climbing. There's a bit too much climbing. But then other people, oh, that's just one game. Hang on. You can play Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil Village, the full game in VR. Excuse me, this is one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in VR. The full game, it's absolutely terrifying. And in the dark scenes, because it's got that proper rich black, and you're standing there with a torch and a gun in absolute panic mode because it is just so real. I haven't played very much of it. I'm only about an hour in. I never finished that game on the original PSVR release, the PS5 release. So yeah, fantastic. Gran Turismo, and I'm a huge Gran Turismo fan. Anyway, I finished Gran Turismo 1, 2, 3, 4. I love them. I love them. Brilliant. Playing that in VR. It's unbelievable. The virtual showroom, you can sit in the actual cars, and the textures. You look closer, you know, put your head on the headrest, and you can see the texture of the cotton in the fabric. I mean, it is incredible. Anyone who loves cars, just show them this. Show them this running Gran Turismo. You won't get anything like Gran Turismo 7 and PC VR. It's incredible. It's changed, you know. Okay, we've got the wire. That's just a little. We've got the wire back, but we got so much benefit because of the wire. And all those people who say, "Oh yeah, Sony are not putting out any stuff." Well, they've released Resident Evil Village, GT7, Call of the Wild. But how many other games could they relatively easily convert to this? If this takes off in big numbers, could we have Elden Ring VR on the PlayStation? Imagine that. Because they've done all the work. They've got these amazing graphics and worlds. It's just a case of altering some perspective, you know, changing a few control options and, like, you know, getting them to work with these awesome adaptive trigger controllers. And you've turned it into a VR version. I would imagine you could turn Elden Ring into a VR version in a couple of months. A little team, a couple of months, and it would be one of the most, being inside one of those massive, epic games. And Sony have got so many in their catalogue, haven't they? So yes, it's a big thumbs up from me for PSVR. I mean, I might go off it. If I go off it, I'll let you know. But I just thought you guys might like to know what I thought of that. So something different to start. I'm going to put it on the floor, and then I'm going to kick it around while I'm talking about old stuff and tread on it. Retrogames show. What do you think of that? Bringing it back, calling it the Retrogames show again, even though there's no features. Yeah, I'm not sure either. And we're very consistent on our viewing figures, aren't we? Very consistent. I'm not talking about numbers, Retro Bear. I'm not talking about numbers. But it seems very consistent. Maybe a little bit of a dip when I change it back to show. I don't know. I don't know what to call this. Retro Games Fridays? I could think of Retro Games Update. I don't know. I'm guessing there's an ultimate thumbnail and title which would just bring in loads more traffic, but I just do not know it. Any ideas? You know where to write to. Comment on the list. Let's talk about it. I've got the sheet. Okay, 22 this time. Let's stick up right that side. Runners and riders. Here you go, boys and girls. 22. Yeah, quite consistent on the comments again. What did we have? 23 last week, 22 this week. Not too bad. Not going to complain about that. Though it has gone down. No, it's fine. It's fine. Let's go through the list now. Retro Import Gamer James, our mate James.
Konnichiwa, everybody. Welcome back.
I love that now. He's number one on the list. Well done, James. He liked being on the show. And he said, go for it. If you want to do my accent, try it. Go for it. Go. Now I'm too scared to do it. So that is a brilliant way of working it out. Yeah, I'm too scared now. Now, James, he used to have his own shop in the highlight time, I think in the 90s. He had a games shop. I mean, not a retro shop, but an actual new video games, import games shop. That's why it's called Retro Import Gamer, I guess. And he used to get new stock in, and he was saying he used to get packing boxes, like, you know, because we showed a sealed SNES X-Men, Spider-Man X-Men last week, didn't we? And he'd get the packing boxes with 6 of those in the box, and the box would be sealed. And you don't see those, do you? A SNES packing box of 6. That would be quite. You see that Atari? There's quite a lot of Atari VCS 2600 stock that is still in its shipping packing boxes. And I'm lucky enough to have actually had Game & Watches in their packing boxes a long time ago. But yeah, SNES in packing boxes. I mean, if people are going that wild and crazy, if that person who paid £1.5 million for Mario 64 sealed, just imagine how much you'd pay for 6 of them in a box sealed. He'd explode probably. He'd probably have to, you know, sell his house. Well, sell his house, sell more than a house, sell his street. £1.5 million. Anyway, carry on, Jace. Number 2, thanks, James. Number 2, Justin's back. Justin, he's funny. He's commenting on James. I love this interaction between you guys. Just me as a mediator, just the mediator in the middle. He said, Justin said he loves the West Midlands accent, as I do. We've got that in common. I've got some family from West Midlands. I think he has as well. He says the accent feels cosy, doesn't it? It feels cosy and warm, friendly. I think that's probably why there's so many retro gamers in the Midlands with their own channels, picking up people watching, because it's just such a lovely, welcoming tone that we like listening to your voices. You know, me with me dodgy, you know, what southeast accent. Well, I'm originally from London, all right. That was terrible. I can't even do a London accent. I'm from London. Unbelievable. On the subject of accents, the most cosy and friendly accent for me is the Welsh accent. I've always adored the Welsh accent. It's just gorgeous to me. I don't know why. I like Scottish accent, I like Northern Ireland accents too. I love all accents, but I've always felt very comforted, secure. I used to work with someone who had a wonderful, Viv, she had a wonderful Welsh accent, and I just loved it. Anyway, absolutely nothing to do with retro gaming, just talking about being British. Do we like American accents? We don't feel comforted by them, no. Number 3, Solar Observation UK is back. Him, her, don't know. Amiga versus ST, blown away by Carrier Command. Now, Carrier Command, hugely popular game. I mean, it pushed simulation games towards people who weren't necessarily into simulation. I can remember a massive satisfaction of launching cruise missiles from your carrier to random islands over the other side of the screen, thinking, this is powerful. Feeling a bit like manic. Yeah. I wonder if Putin has Carrier Command. Maybe he had that when he was younger. He said the ST, Amiga versus ST, kind of, because we've covered a lot of Atari ST in the last couple of weeks. and it's raising that shadow of Amiga versus ST. Everyone knows about Spectrum versus Commodore, but Amiga versus ST, that was the second great war of retro gaming. I think you'll find that's the second one. And Amiga eventually won. It came out later, but it had that sound chip, and at the time, it was all about the sound. I think I covered this when I talked about my favourite Amiga soundtracks. And he's right. It was the Amiga. It didn't take long for you to, if you had an ST first, because it came out a year and a half, 2 years earlier. It didn't take long to migrate to the Amiga. It was just the sound, because graphically they're very similar. Maybe not pushed it as hard. Maybe the Atari ST was never pushed as hard as the Amiga. That's something to debate. Anyway, moving on. Number 4, Retro Ed UK. He's our friend. We like Retro Ed. He liked that Game Gear case. Do you remember he did that Game Gear soft metallic case? Very, very 80s. He wanted to complement his Game Boy bum bag. Bum bag. Didn't we used to call kids bum bags at school? Oi, leave it alone, you bum bag. Bum bag. Americans, that's fanny pack, isn't it? Really funny fanny pack. We all laugh at that. Apart from, unless you are American, because it doesn't mean fanny to you, but it should do. You should know by now. But bum bag. Bum bag's almost as funny, isn't it? Because it's got a lovely symmetry, isn't it? Bum bag. Moving on. 5, Wondrous Jaguar. She's back. She said, are we going to attend the London Game Market? No, we are never going to attend any retro events. I'm proud to say you can only ever buy stuff from our website. You are not going to see me hauling massive crates of stuff to some market stall in Doncaster. I am definitely we tried it. We had the shop. We had a real retail shop for 2.5, 3 years maybe. In the early 2000s. That's enough. That was enough face-on-face retail. I prefer friendly emails now. People just chatting and talking and buying directly. That's a lot nicer than people touching things, touching my stuff, hauling stuff out of vans or getting squashed and crushed and ruined, sticking stuff in plastics, trying to keep it nice, but it's not. It's got squashed. Squashy washy. Yeah, squashy washy. No, I don't like. I mean, I'm quite happy to visit those places and have a look around at the stuff. But it makes me cross because I think, oh, that's overpriced, oh, that's underpriced, oh, maybe I buy it, no, I won't buy it. Because it's squashed! Because it's faded, because you've had these crates of SNES games all laid on Mega Drive, and you've just taken around all these different places, and they just got faded in the sun, and so now all the spines don't match the fronts and the backs of the boxes because they all got faded. I guess I'm saying these markets. I know you guys lots of your little videos. Oh, we went on tour. I'll check out. We was down this market. We went down to this show. We went to that. But yeah, not for me. Not for me. I'm an indoors kind of guy. I've done that stuff. We're not that. Luckily, and it's hard to admit this, but just not that desperate to sell anything these days. Isn't that the worst thing a retailer could say? Yeah, well, if we sell some stuff, I think that makes it better for me, doesn't it? If I don't mind, I don't like selling stuff. I don't like the stuff going. I like to have all the games here. You guys, I know you keep me going. You buy the stuff. It's brilliant. It gives me the money to keep buying the stuff. That's it. It's basically just it's all a big turny-whirny, in and out kind of thing. And that's the way I like it. So, moving on. Someone new, number 6. I can't say this one. Sidrixar. I'm thinking it's going to be a Sidrixar. Anyway, a little story there. Been offered a 3DO console from a family member for, and I think they put the number wrong, 0.00. Is it a good deal? If that 3DO is 0.00 pounds, then yes, it's an incredible deal. Snap it up. But I think you might have meant to put 100. That's just my guess. I think you meant to put £100. And yes, 3DO for 100 quid is a good deal. You know, it's quite a rare console. There's a lot less 3DOs out there than, say, Saturns, which is like became its rival. 3DO, it was a blimmin' good machine. There's some brilliant games on there. Firepower, you know, the first ever Need for Speed was on 3DO. And there's lots of quirky games like Hell, and yeah, like quiz games. And there's lots of interesting stuff on 3DO. I think it's a great console. and I think a lot of you guys do too. So yes, 100 quid. I think possibly 150. If it's got games with it, 200. If it's got loads of games with it, 300, 400. Get it, get it. Have a 3DO in your collection. It's a nice and lovely. It's a lovely shape to that. It's a lovely shape. Those rounded edges. You know what 3DO looks like. It looks like this, and it's lovely. It's got. I don't know about you guys, but of all the consoles, it's got the loveliest drawer opening and closing, doesn't it? It's very satisfying. It's quite slow. Press the one. Yeah, I like it. It's better than CDI. It tends to actually work for a little while. It's better than Xbox. I don't know why. There's something about that drawer coming out on a 3DO. It feels really nice. It feels proper. I guess they were made by Panasonic, weren't they? So I guess it's because they were made proper by a hi-fi company. They understood drawer action better, I think. No, you could say Philips. I know. Anyway, going down a cul-de-sac. Buy the 3DO. 7, Rusty Bucket. Now, Rusty Bucket, Russ, our friend, I said, I think he might be American because he commented on the Super Bowl. No, he was up late watching the Super Bowl and then just happened to mention it in his comment. He's from Bridge North, another West Midlands guy. Lovely, beautiful place, Bridge North. Really nice up there. I've been there. Now, he's got some comments on it. He's got a lot of comments. What did he say? He's on about people collecting sets. He has never bought on the site. What are you doing, Russ? Come on, buy it on the site. He said, never ever seen anything he wanted. On the site, no, I mean, I can understand, too expensive or not for me, you know, nothing I'm that desperate for to pay for. But never seen anything you wanted. But you collect VIC-20, we've got hundreds of VIC-20 games. What are you on about? Couldn't find anything. Couldn't find 26,000 items on that website at the moment. Couldn't find anything you liked. I'm sorry, Russ. You call yourself a retro gamer, mate. Come on. His first game, anyway. His first game was on the VIC-20. It was Arcadia, another classic Imagine game. Remember we had Jumping Jack last week? Arcadia. Check out Arcadia on the VIC-20 and see if this stirs your loins. I mean, it's a game a lot of us had. I had it on the Spectrum. It's a big game on Commodore 64 as well. Arcadia was one of the first Imagine releases. We all craved Space Invaders at home, and anything close to it got us excited. So I think that's all right. He asked one more question. Oh, he's the same age as me. Revealed he is the same age exactly as me. That's interesting. Which one of us looks oldest? Well, I can't find his picture, but maybe you can send it in. Send in a picture next week and we'll do a comparison. How you can look at this age. I look rather dilapidated, I would imagine. Warm myself out of it. Maybe too many pies. That's what they say, isn't it? Too many pies, Jace. Crisps, actually. Mainly crisps. Solid crisps, this is. What? Talk about getting rambling on. Are we ever going to get to this stuff? Yes. He hates the emulation scene. What do we think? Well, that is another big question. We're only stuck on number 7 here because he said so much in his little comment. Emulation. Do we like it? I'm not sure we do. I'm not really a fan. I have got consoles and things that run emulation. I've used emulation. A few of those like faux coin-op things where they run MAME and stuff. Yeah, they are the right code. But it doesn't feel quite right. Does it? Never ever feels quite right. And the thing about retro gaming, you want everything to be authentic and the best. You want the best game, you want the best condition game, you want the game to have the manual. And authenticity is just very, very important for most of our collections. There's nothing quite as unauthentic as emulation. And there's so much of these little handheld consoles with 5,000 games on there. Brilliant convenience, yeah, brilliant, but it don't feel right, does it? I don't know why. I can't really put my thumb on it, but I've never, ever liked emulation. And I've always been, and it's not just because I sell the real things, because we have sold some retro emulation consoles. We have. There's probably a couple on the site now. They just don't feel right. Don't feel even those little handheld, the little mini Mega Drive, mini SNES, mini NES, mini PC Engine, because you know they're all driven under emulation. They don't quite feel right. They don't feel right. And maybe that's just me. Maybe you're just going to say, Jace, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, mate. Fair enough. Let's move on. 8, Gareth, our friend in Wales. Gareth is still, right to this very day, disappointed by Zaxxon on the Spectrum. Here it is. Yeah, I think I was disappointed by Zaxxon on the Spectrum at the time too. Did you play it for ages though, Gareth? Did you play it and play it, hoping it would redeem itself, and it just never ever did? Zaxxon's a strange game. It looks so cool. I remember first seeing the coin op. Isometric, wow, that looks amazing, but it never ever played as good as it looked. Is that just me? Zaxxon, even the coin-op version, never, you know, it's not Viewpoint on the Neo Geo. That's what Zaxxon should have felt like, but it didn't. Anyway, moving on, Retro Crazy's back, enjoying the Atari stuff on the show, excellent. I'm sure there'll be some more, but I'm trying to avoid any more Atari ST this week. I've covered enough. Steve, last week's winner. Does anybody remember Bounty Bob on the 800 XL? Steve? Steve? We are retro gamers. We're retro. We're all, of course, we all know Bounty Bob on the Atari 800. It's the sequel to Miner 2049er. It came out on virtually every format you can think of. We all remember Bounty Bob. Good game. Good game. Just testing our memory. So you're going to have to try a lot harder than that. Tapio, number 11. Tapio from Finland. And he was talking about buying a game you're disappointed with. Because I covered that last week. I said, we're disappointed in a games, but you carry on. You persevere. And he persevered with. But he was in the supermarket in the 90s with his mum. And he saw in the supermarket Ikari Warriors for the NES, which, yeah, okay, Taito coin up. Thinking it's pretty good, Victory Road Commando. Ikari he bought it, he persuaded his mum to get it for him based on the cover. He got that game home and he did not like it. He did not like it, he did not play it very much. But that does seem, he thought we might disagree because Ikari Warriors on the NES, let's check it out. It's not bad, is it? It's not. Anyway, yeah, that's it. It doesn't matter whether the game was good or bad. It depends how you took it. And let's be honest, compared to the cover art, yeah, compared to the cover art, the game does look a bit pants. Can we say that? Finland, do you call that? Do you think things are called pants? Things pants? Oh, that's a bit pants. And I'm not talking about pants. That's the thing. I'm talking about something not pants in a derogatory way. I'm going to spread that to Finland. They'll all be calling everything pants now in Finland after this. They probably already do. Probably everyone does. Retro Bear, number 12, Retro Bear. He mentioned the Atari ST because we covered Atari ST, and he said some of those Atari ST games look like Master System games, which is an 8-bit console, a 16-bit console. But look, and I have to admit, on some of those games, he's got a point. The one for me was Terry's Adventure. Let's just recap. Terry's Adventure, that does look really, really poor, doesn't it? That looks really, really ropey. I don't think they were pushing the boundaries. Terry's Adventure does come out in 8-bit formats as well, so yeah. He liked the look of Warzone, and I was struggling, wasn't I, when I covered Warzone last week. It looked okay. It's kind of a roaming up the screen shoot, but it's a bit like Ikari Warriors. I struggled a bit trying to think of games that you had Jeeps in, but the game that I really loved that had a Jeep was Leathernecks, and that's another Atari ST game, Leathernecks. And that was 4 players at the same time. It used the really rare Atari ST 4-player adapter. I know I just said I wouldn't talk about Atari ST, but I am. It was really, really good fun, especially if you could have 4 players around your Atari ST. There's not many 4-player games for computer formats. And you could find a Jeep, and you could be in the Jeep, and all your mates are trying to, and you've got the Jeep, and you're going, I got the Jeep. Yeah, it was good. Leathernecks, Microdeal, yeah. We're over halfway. Richard Cooper says we should stop saying what's in the box. We should change it to what's in the chair. What's in the chair? Yeah, good idea. Good one. Well done. There's nasty one. Sorry, Rich. 14. Andy, we were talking about last week, because we're turning this into a club. It's a slow process. We're getting there. I was talking about making enamel badges for club members. You'd all be members, obviously. And he says he remembers those Nintendo pin badges that you used to get on the front of the mags. I remember Superplay had a lovely enamelled pin badge on the front of Superplay, just the magazine title, but with the with the little clasp on the back. You put it on your tie, on your lapel. They are lovely, aren't they? I'm still thinking we should make Retro Games pin badges. They'd be like the Blue Peter badge, and it'd be an easy prize for me, wouldn't it? Every week. Yeah, good. Good one. 15. Michael, is it Michael Johnson? I say this every week. Is it Michael Johnson? I think. Anyway, Michael Johnson. Is it Mike? Are you there, Mike? Yeah, I think it is. Anyway, he's got a lovely story for us. Let's go back in time. Jace's story time. It's 1992. Do you remember? 1992. 1992. It's his 11th birthday. He's been given money. His mum's taken him to Dixon's to buy himself a video game. He's looked at the video games available. He's based this decision entirely on the look of the box and from some ropey TV shows from the 1960s. He has used his birthday money to buy Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible. Yeah, Mission Impossible. He got it home and he hated it. Worse than that, he says it ruined his entire birthday. Can you imagine him? He's got his joypad, he's put that cartridge in, he's stopped the plate, he pulled it out, blown it, he's put it back in again, and then he's... I hate this birthday! I hate you, Mum! Why did you take me to Dixon's? Yeah, that's my own reenactment there. But imagine, as he says, he only got 3 games a year. You only get 3 games a year, and one of them is Mission Impossible. Well, it's okay, Mission Impossible. It's not too bad. He admits that himself. It's actually not that bad if you play it now. The thing about that era, 92, you've moved on from 8-bit. Well, the NES is 8-bit, but if you'd have hung in, if you had a Spectrum or a Commodore 64, you could have had loads of games a year. For your 40 quid Mission Impossible, maybe 30 back then, well, you could have had a good 10 budget games, brilliant budget games for Commodore 64, and they'd have all been a lot better than Mission Impossible. Just a thought. That's the sad thing about the demise of the cassette. Cheap gaming disappeared, didn't it? We got some cheap disc games, yeah, 16-bit games on the Amiga and the ST, but it's 11 years old. His mum and dad weren't buying him an Amiga or an ST. They went for a console. They thought, this is easy, plug and play. And then he's stuffed, losing all his birthday money on a turgid lump of cartridge. Oh, poor guy. Number 16, moving on, Fionzi's back. Also bigging up enamel badges. We'll see. 17, Retro Claire. Retro Claire's back. She says, because we covered that, remember we covered Missile Command for the Atari last week, a mouse edition. We used Amiga mouse, and I said that's really going to ruin the game. The Amiga mouse to get all your targets and shoot all the missiles out, because a lot of that skill is in the length of time it takes you to get between each target. Get to the point, Jace. Well, she makes a very valid point. Turn that mouse upside down. You've got a trackball. It's like a trackball, which is like the original in the arcade. You had the trackball, didn't you? You had to spin it, flick the trackball, flick it, flick the trackball. Oh, gone too far. Flick it back, flick it back. Brilliant concept. Don't make many trackball games anymore, but there was trackballs released for lots of consoles, including ColecoVision, Atari VCS, Atari 800. There must be others. Trackballs. I miss them. I'm not... Gravitar. I remember playing the corner. Yeah, brilliant. Trackball was brilliant, but I don't know. It is a bit of a novelty, the trackball. I don't think it gives you great accuracy. Yeah, Tempest Spinner, brilliant. But trackball, centipede. Yeah, I mean, you went left and right, really, didn't you? I mean, just going left and right and then moving up when you go up from the bottom. You didn't need a trackball, did you really? And you had to whiz it. I don't know. I think it's for something from the arcades that people used as a distinctive USP for their coin-op, didn't they? So, if it's got a trackball, people will think, oh, what's this? What's this? This is a new way of controlling the game. Because computer mice weren't a thing then. It's pre that. Anyway, good point, Claire, well made. 18, Peter's back. He preferred the Amiga to the Atari ST. Now, there's a shocker. We all did. But we don't like to say that. We don't want to put down the ST. His friend had an Atari ST though, and he played Boulder Dash a lot on it, and he said, that's a bit sad. Boulder Dash isn't sad. Boulder Dash is brilliant. Boulder Dash, especially designing your own levels, making a tap and knock it. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant game. Boulder Dash. That is not sad. It's official. 19, Tetley is back. Some of those ST games look public domain. Yeah, coming back to that Terror's Adventure. You're right. Some of them looked a bit ropey. Maybe worse than you remembered. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't happen often. Because we've all got that rose tinted thing. We all look at games in a different way to maybe normal gamers. I'm saying retro gamers aren't normal, but you know, mainstream gamers, they're not going to look at these old games like we do. They're going to look at them like, what the hell? And yeah, good point, Tetley. They did look a bit rough. 20, we're nearly there. Scary Bailey. Going back to the games you regret, which is a common theme. I'm enjoying these. Keep them coming in. Games you regret. Shadow of the Beast 2. Swayed by the huge box, the gorgeous Roger Dean artwork, the free t-shirt. Oh my goodness, wear that before you even boot the disc. But then the game was so hard, so ridiculously hard, so focused on just how many layers of parallax they could have, they forgot about adding any gameplay. That stuff happened back then. And no saves. The game had no saves. It was dire. 2 out of 10 he gave it. He felt so terrible because he wasted all his money on it. I can appreciate that. It's that feeling. But how long did you play it for? Did you persist? Did you keep going? Did you do level 2? Did you never play it after the first day? Or did you keep going back to it thinking, I can find some redemption in this? I don't know. We need to know. 21, Jabobbly Rob, our old mate, is there. Jabobbly Rob, I really like Jabobbly Rob's little thumbnail for his face. It looks like a Borg, or no, not Borg, like Terminator. And every time I see his little picture, it makes me smile. I'm going to put it on. Yeah, hello, Jabobbly Rob. You're on the screen now, properly. I always look at it in the list. I just think that is a really cute little icon. He said, I'll bid £20 for the whole box. Sorry, wrong video. Hilarious! Yes! Funny reference to our other show. Yeah, we did another show this week. I'm guessing most of you already know. I'm sure most of you saw it. I listed our first junk box. Did you see that? A junk box, just a box of old crud. Showed you lots of the stuff. And then I said, I'm welcoming bids. And we've got bids. People are interested. Peter, he's number 18. He's winning, I think, at the moment. Last time I checked, at 50 quid. He offered 50 quid for that box of stuff, which I think actually does include a really nice video pack, as well as loads of other crud. But it was a success. It's got pretty decent views. People seem to like it. It's got good comments. So I will be doing another junk box next week. Yes, next week. So get your bids in. And if you haven't watched it, watch it. Junk box. I tell you what, I loved how quick it was to edit compared to the Friday show. It was a dream. 13 minutes of bliss. Oh yes, just a little bit of camera swapping. That was it. Fabulous. Anyway, moving on to the last one. The last one is called Retro Fid. But doesn't it look like Retro Fiddle? I thought Retro Fiddle, Retro Fiddler sounds like a paedophile's. Sorry about that. But Retro Fid, Retro Fiddy, Retro Fiddy loves the Atari 2600, don't we all? Don't we all? And I think that concludes the list. What's the prize? What's the prize? It's a really rubbish prize this week. It's just something I grabbed off my desk. Beachhead 2 for the Spectrum. What do you think? Beachhead 2, it is in the box. It's a clamp case. I'd say VG condition. It's got the manual. It's got the separate manual there. It's got the game. It's a classic. It's not worth a lot. Beachhead 2, but it's a classic arcade multi-stage war game, which we all liked at the time. And this can be yours for absolutely nothing. I pay the postage too. You just have to have your number come up. Let's get our friend. Cue the jingle while I stretch for him.
My name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. Remember my name. 'Cause my name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. And numbers are my game.
Marvin. Good boy, Marvin. Put my numbers down to 22. Let's see if it's got any power. Yes, we've got the E's. Doesn't mean Ed's going to win because it happened last week and Ed didn't win. We've got our numbers. Got 22 on there. Who wants to win Beachhead? I might throw something else in with this, a mystery additional prize, okay? Because I'm feeling a bit bad. This is a bit rubs. It's not a brand new Jeff Minter game, which we was giving away before. It's Beachhead 2. It's a bit... Okay, get these numbers up and I'll get better prizes, you'll see. 5. Go Marvin. No. 4. Go Marvin. No. 3. Go Marvin. 2. Go Marvin. 1. Go Marvin. Yes! It is 19! Quite a late one again, 19. Tetley, you finally win and the prize is absolutely rubbish. But Tetley, you have finally won the prize. Well done to you. Well done, Marvin, for keeping us all in suspense. Brilliant fun. I might have to throw something in extra, Tetley, if you want that. Just send me an email to sales@retrogames.co.uk with your address and I shall send Beachhead and possibly something else with it. Mystery. Right, that's the chat done. Let's move on to this bit.
What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games, please. What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games this week.
Yeah, what's new at Retrogames this week? I've got to keep it secret. Keep it secret. Don't look in the box before. I need to have a lavish velvet covered box with maybe a elasticated thing that I put my hand in and pull stuff out. Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? I need to work on that. If anyone wants to make me a fabric covered box for the show, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Now, I'm going to start today with BBC Model B. We haven't covered BBC for a while, and I thought, why not? We had some nice disc stuff in this week. First one here is called Squeeze. And these are interesting. We've never had this in stock on disc before. So, okay, I know what you're thinking. These are educational games, Jace. Educational games, but they are original BBC. It's very nice condition in the bottom. I mean, they're card boxes, so they get a bit rough and ready outside, on the outside, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. This is called Squeeze. This looks like a kind of a Tetris-y sort of game. I'm going to rush through these BBC things because I know you don't really care. There's another one. Hang on, not that one. This one. Juggle Puggle. No, that would be a better name. Juggle Puzzle. Juggle Puzzle. Oh, it's got a great cut. Look at the cover on that. Look at these guys. Got Ghost Snail, ghost, melon, or apple, and just a ghost. Juggle, puzzle. Again, education-ish, I think, aged 8 upwards. There's a lot of education. That BBC, if you're unaware, BBC was the educational computer released in the UK. A lot of. What does the BBC make you think of? I tell you what, it makes me think of Fred Harris. This guy was on all the computer shows when I was into computers, when I was young, and actually computers were cool. Fred, he has a brilliant voice. He's really, I'd love to meet Fred Harris. I always love to. Chock-a-Bloke checking in. He did a kids show, Chock-a-Bloke.
Chock-a-Bloke checking in.
Chock-a-Bloke checking in. I remember myself on Fred Harris. Ian McNaught-Davis from Micro Live. He's always had a BBC. He's always typing on the BBC. Yeah, those were BBC guys. They're the serious face of computing. They were for us in the early 80s. Here's another one. Cranky. Another excuse to put up a picture of the Crankies. Yeah, the Crankies. Age 7 upwards. It's a kids game, but again, beautiful inside. And on disc, really nice. That's very good. Now I had a couple of these, which I thought I've got to show you this. This is Hide and Seek. It's part of the same series, as you can see. But this is a brilliant example of what we call disc rot. Now this is a very sad fact for retro gamers. These old 5.25-inch discs and 3.5-inch, yes, your Amiga and ST collections are vulnerable too. They're susceptible to disc rot. Now what is disc rot? It generally looks like white stains, like blooming marks on the disc. You know, I talked about time frost on CDs, but this is worse. It absolutely renders them unloadable and very hard. I have tried to clean tiny bits of it very, very carefully, dabbing away with a bit of friendly alcohol, and I have actually got a game to load once, I think, an Atari ST game, but it was a very tiny spot. Let me show you what disc rot looks like, and you can see this. So this hiding, it's got a hair on it. Now, can you see? You see, yes, I think that's coming okay. And if I spin this, you can see there's some white flecks on there. Let's find another. There's a bigger one. Look, you see, it's actually on the disc surface, and the other side, that's okay in that part. And it's just like a white stain. It's white stain. It's like a fungus. It's like our old games. It's a bit like you know, The Last of Us. The fungus is coming to get us. It's very sad. It's very sad. There's another one. I've got two. This one might be slightly worse. Nobody knows why it starts, and it's only on some games. I mean, these games came in together, so they had the same life. But some are absolutely perfect, and some. Can you see? Can you see if I turn that? You see? I mean, it's not a great demo. Not a great demo, but hopefully you got to see that. It's just a bit. Yeah, so they don't load anymore. That is I've seen that fungus on tapes as well, believe it or not. I think it's to do with temperature more than dampness. I think dry is definitely good to keep your games in a dry room. Don't leave them in an external garage or something like that, or definitely not a shed. But I do think it's also about temperature. I think maybe games that go down to freezing and they go back up in the summer, and I just think over the years just something begins to fester on the disc surface. It's funny, one of these was in its paper sleeve, one of it wasn't, but they both got it, so the paper sleeves don't seem to protect it. Coming back to how I feel about Time Frost, I don't know if possibly this being this laminated box is not allowing the disc to breathe. It's all hearsay, it's all hokum. I don't really know, but I do think it's a tragedy that I wish we could do something about, but we can't. But you have to be very careful. I have to be very careful now if you're selling Amiga, ST, BBC, Commodore 64 disc stuff to us, PC, that you've checked the discs, because if you see any of that, if you see it on one disc, usually the whole collection's got it. It kind of spreads like some sort of horrible virus. It's like the COVID of discs, sadly. Moving on, more BBC. There was more. Don't worry about that. It is a really nice one. This is there's no disc right on these ones. This is Philosopher's Quest. Nice adventure game for BBC. Again, disc. And you've got the disc, and it's got this. It's got the disc there, obviously, but you've also got the manual. And then you've got some hints and answers that came in this little envelope, and it's still got the envelope and the hints. Well, that's nice, isn't it? It's nice, it's all complete. I mean, the envelope's opened, so they obviously got stuck. And we're now paying the price for that. We're paying the price for your incompetence adventure gaming. You could have kept that sealed and it would have been worth more money. Selfish. Anyway, whoever sold me this is going to be, what? Here's a weird one. This is Droom by Humek. It's like I've suddenly skipped into a different language, isn't it? Suddenly this is Droom by Humek. I don't know what accent that was. That's meant to be Polish, was it? Yeah, Droom by Humek. Educate loads of really obscure educational titles for the BBC. Made by very tiny companies. Very interesting. No proper data, no equivalent of the World of Spectrum really for BBC. Not that I know of, not that's reliable. That documents how many and what these titles are. There must be hundreds of titles like this that sold in 20, 30 kind of numbers. Super rare. Nobody's particularly interested because they're all educational, which is a shame. But this is a set of games. It's actually on 2 discs, I think. Yeah. Dread Dragon Droom and Droom Supplementary. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, unusual, very rare. You're not going to find another copy of this in a hurry. But maybe you don't want it. So fair enough, but I have to show you the rare things. Any more BBC? Yes, there's another one. There's a shame about the box, but these Adventure International ones, like the Hulk and Spider-Man games in that curved top box. You can see there that curved top. The Sorcerer of Claymore Castle. Beautiful adventure game. It shows a few screenshots on the back there. I'll just pull this out. Yeah, it's looking a bit. It's got the manual. And there's the cassette. But yeah, these boxes, they were not built to last the test of time, were they? It's a shame. I mean, I think even we've actually bought these ex-shop stock, never actually got sold, but they've still looked pretty much exactly like this. A bit squashy. Yeah, a bit squashy-washy. Fine, good. Is that all the BBC I got? I think that was all the BBC. Let's move on. What are we going to talk about next? Let's talk about... Oh no, is that BBC? One more BBC. Say BBC enough. And people forget that it means something else to some people. BBC game. Property Game Pass Go. Property Game Pass... I really can't work out. The reason I pulled this anyway is because it's released by KD Software. And do you remember we looked in that Sinclair Pro user last week? And I said that company, KD, don't they make their own games? They made their own stuff. I think this is... It's like more proof that we're in a simulation, isn't it? And I talk about a thing one week, it comes in the next week. It's like, what is the chances? And look at this. So you've got the manual there. And this is the instructions. Like, look, Property Game Pass Go, instructions. And I love this line at the bottom here. All necessary instructions are included in the game. 1983, proper, super rare. We put 50 on it, but will you ever see another copy of that? No, it's just typical of the amazing rare things you'll find on the retrogames.co.uk website, the place to find rare games. Carry on, Jace. Is that all the BBC now? Yes, let's pull up something. Sinclair, what about this? This is Nucleon for the Sinclair QL. Sinclair QL. That's the 16-bit, 1984 16-bit computer that could have killed the Amiga and ST if it hadn't have had micro drives. And as this game comes, it's not. I think it's serious software. This is a micro drive. You know what these micro drives are. Let's pop that open. Oh, there you go. Made by Pyramid. I think it's what is this? A valuable programming assistant. This software comprises a suite of programs and tools designed to reduce the labour involved in producing professional results in your own creations. What does that actually mean? It doesn't mean anything, does it? Creations of what? I don't know. A good poo's a creation, isn't it? The 4 main programs all generate automatically their own super basic programs. God knows what it is. But incredibly rare. Most stuff for the QL is incredibly rare, and that's not the only thing I've got in the box relating to QL today. Oh, yes it is. Forgot to put the other thing in. Stop it. I will bring that other QL thing next week. We'll look at that next week because it was interesting. Promise, I promise. You're thinking QL, Jace, that's not games. Okay, let's go. Vic 20. Didn't we have someone like the Vic 20? Was it Justin? No, someone about Vic 20. Rare game this week. Cloud Burst. Cartridge. Cloudburst. Just a really rare game. By Audiogenic. Audiogenic, remember, I don't know if you remember, a few months ago we bought their leftover stock, all the leftover stuff that they'd never sold, from just stored up from the ex-director, and he just had it stored up and he sold us all his old stuff, and most of it sold really quickly, sadly. But we found another one, Cloudburst. Yes, Audiogenic cartridge game for the Commodore VIC 20. What about this? This is something different. PD1. And the crowd say, Bo Selector. PD1. This is a brand new mint condition controller for Amstrad GX 4000. We had loads of these in about 10 years ago, and then we suddenly found one in the box. Wow, because they sold like hotcakes. I don't think this will be here long. It's mint in the box. It's never been out. I am breaking it open for you. Not break, it's not sealed. But as you can, this is the controller for the failed. I'm not opening now. That is still stuck down, unused, a proper unused controller. And you can pick up the controllers maybe for 20-25 quid, but you do not see them in the box. This is actually sold as an extra controller for the console. Used with GX 4000, 464 Plus. You remember we talked about that, the smoothed out version, and the 6128 Plus, even rarer. But really nice joypad. It's just nice when you see old stuff in this kind of condition. I'm right, aren't I? I'm right. I'm always right. Am I? So what's next? A Vectrex game. Vectrex. We had one Vectrex game this week. Starship. This is a really good game. We do docking. I remember you do docking to refuel, and you blow up loads of things. It feels you control the sight and you shoot. Brilliant. It's Starship. We've talked a lot about Vectrex back in the old episodes. But yeah, really nice condition there. You got this. I love these. Someone should be remaking these plastics. I think this is MB exclusive. We got better packaging than the GCE versions. The MB versions, nicer manuals, nicer cartridge, metallic cartridge labels, beautiful. And of course the all-important screen in its wallet. Let's have a look at the screen. There we go. Starship, the overlay for the Vectrex. You can see everything's blue. Everything is blue. I'm blue. Not even entertaining anymore, am I? I know. I've run out of entertainment value. I don't know. Starship Vectrex here. Let me put that back in the box. Nice. Beautiful. I once, a long time ago, we had a long time ago, Vectrex. We had an immaculate. We bought Bob Monkhouse's games collection. Bob Monkhouse, the TV legend. It was years and years ago. Actually, I can remember where it was. It dates. It's 13 years ago. Wow, he's been dead a long time. His son sold his son-in-law actually sold us Bob Monkhouse's collection, and it was Atari, loads of Atari in television, Master System, and Vectrex. Complete run of Vectrex. Everything mint in the box. He didn't really take anything out of the boxes, just put them on the shelves. He was a proper hoarder, and it was a brilliant day when we got Bob out. And he had some of the games that he had got out of the boxes. He'd filled in the warranty, like on the VCS cards. He filled it in, like, signed it, Bob Monkhouse. And I was thinking, that is amazing. I think I've got one in my own collection. Bob Monkhouse is signed. Isn't that amazing? A celebrity, a superstar, right, really, of the 70s and 80s. He was massive. Saturday Night TV. He's actually filling in the warranty card on an Atari VCS game. This kind of feels kind of cute, doesn't it? Sweet. Weird. Like me! Okay, moving on. What about some Nintendo games? Yeah, let's go Nintendo. What about this? Now this is a beautiful Smash TV. Smash TV. It's got the original shrink wrap all the way around. It has been opened. It has been opened, but it is brand new and unused. Incredible. It's a US one. It's US. It's got a little sticker. There's a bit of a yellow sticker on that thing. Look at this. So the cartridge, look at that. Never been out of plastic. Brand new. Got loads of free. You know, American stuff has loads of gumph in there. This is gumph. It's official. Perfect booklet. You know you're gonna see it, aren't you? You're gonna see it. Here it comes. Look at that manual. Yeah, he's singing about the manual. Oh, I just love. And of course, Smash TV also has a mint poster. It's a poster. It's so mint. I don't even think it's not worth unfolding it to show you. But I promise you, that is the poster. It is perfect. This is the first time it's been out of the box. I couldn't not show you it, so I did. But that is brand new. And the only reason that the plastic is cut at one end is because the previous shop put in this white paper. I'm keeping it in there, but they split the seal to insert that white piece of shop paper, just like a promo thing. If they hadn't done that, this would be sealed and worth lots more money. But apart from that, it is brand new. I mean, look, you got that line. You see the line. Different to the Nintendo releases with the pull-off strip. You guys know about sealed stuff. You do. Here's another SNES game. Got a bit of SNES. It's a game we don't talk about much. Spirou, French game. Another cutesy platformer that not many people know much about, but in mint condition inside. Again, absolutely unused, still in the plastic, perfect manual, and a poster as well. Another poster, beautiful. And again, I'm not going to unfold that and show you the poster because it's mint condition. Mint condition. The box, couple of little digs, but it's still really nice. Spirou. For Super Nintendo. That's some SNES stuff. What else have we got? Some more Nintendo in here. We've got Game Boy game. What about this? F1 Race. Now F1 Race doesn't sell for big money considering it's one of the original Game Boy releases. And this is the special pack which includes the 4-player adapter. It's time, 4-player handheld gaming. This was pretty landmark, and it's a really cool little adapter. You can see you've got the adapters in there, and the cartridge, and loads of manuals and stuff. I'm not going to get it all out. You know what it is, but it's nice, isn't it? Isn't it nice? In your proper, it looks nice with the original Game Boy, console. You can put this next to it. It's proper piece of retro. It's got that classic Game Boy stripe. Isn't that the best thing? It's just the fact that it's got this Game Boy stripe. Official Nintendo. F1 Race. 4 players. Not a great game, let's be honest. It's a very simple racing game on the original black and white Game Boy. But it's fun. But let's talk more about Game Boy, because this week we have this. And this is something I was not very familiar with. This is a Game Boy Advance SP. I don't know where these games came from, who makes them, what they are. I'm sure there's loads of people who know loads of stuff about it. But let's show you the box first. This is a Game Boy Advance SP. It has Nintendo on the box. It has 2003 Nintendo on the bottom. It's got the number AGS 001, which is like the original SP number. But if you look at the side here, you'll see. New front light screen, new compact size, rechargeable battery, plays all Game Boy games. it's an improved version of the Game Boy SP. An improved version. It is a better screen. It's been modded. It plays all Game Boy games. It doesn't come with any manuals. Let's have a look. I don't know what these are. Are they recased? But look, this is different. This looks like an official Nintendo item, doesn't it? But I don't remember people talking about a reissue of the Game Boy Advance SP. Made to look like Super Famicom. It's Japan only, Japanese. Screen Knight. I guess this is who makes the screen. This is, I don't know. Someone buying up SPs, buying up all the old SPs, modding them, putting better screens in, bigger screens. Have a look. I'll show you. It's big. It's big. It's bright and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's fabulous for playing Game Boy games. This is a lot nicer to use than using the Micro because it's the bigger screen. But it's also that. It's a great design. I mean, it's a good design. The SP is a great design. It's a brilliant angle for playing. I mean, it's beautiful. It's in brand new condition. It looks like a Super Famicom. It's a Game Boy SP. It's an improved one. I don't know. It's got 2002 credit on there. It says Nintendo on the bottom. It's really nicely made. I mean, if this is a fake thing, it's really good quality. It's embossed there. It's not like an original SP. It feels different. It feels newer. It feels... But it is. It's brand new. That's the thing. This is a brand new item. And they are around. You'll find them on eBay. You'll find the same one in the box. And the box too small to fit the power supply in. I mean, possibly you could, one of those little slim Japanese ones with the clicking, but this has also got a separate UK power supply. And the power supply looks official too. Let's have a look. I might have a look. Yeah. Yeah, it's an official Nintendo power supply that came supplied with it. So, I mean, it could be just another power supply. I don't know. I honestly don't know who's making new Game Boy Advance SPs. Very nice item. But that's the story. That's the story. I do not know everything. There's so many people modding and reinventing, making new versions of old things now. It's a bit of a mess, but it's either only released in Japan under special license from Nintendo, or complete and utter piracy that Nintendo should have stamped out a long time before, but they don't seem to be. Strange. Let's move on. Move on, Jace. What are we gonna? Yeah, a book. A book. We always like to have one book in the episodes. The Art of Game Characters. Unusual book. It's a lot of pages, hundreds of pages, 200 pages, and it's all about game characters, legendary game characters, and loads of CGI graphics. All talking about loads of different game characters. You'll recognise some of these guys. You recognise them, don't you? Yeah, you recognise them. You recognise those guys. You recognise those guys. Do you recognise those guys? What about these guys? Yeah, it's got that kind of Edge quality about it, you know, like Edge magazine. Very glossy, beautiful coffee table book about games characters. And I think we only listed it for a £5. £5. That's worth a look, in it for a £5. 200 pages on game characters. I thought it was nice. What's left in the box?
What's in the box?
Yeah, what's in the box? Okay.
What's in the box?
Well, we're going to finish for a change on some Commodore 64. We have been neglecting the Commodore 64 bit. And we are huge Commodore 64 fans, as you all are, I'm sure. The first one today is Shirley Muldowney's. I always get this woman. Look at this woman. That's Shirley Muldowney. Shirley Muldowney. I'm going to get another picture of Shirley Muldowney for you. Yeah, that's Shirley Muldowney. She is obviously a dragster racer. We don't know about dragster racing in the UK much. And we have Santa Pod, where they do this sort of racing. Top Fuel Challenge by Cosme, a Forbidden Forest company. It is a dragster game. Check it out. Let me have a little read of the back. Jump to the smell of burning rubber. What the hell does that mean? Jump to the smell. Come on and jump to the smell. Recoil from the heat of your turbos as you gun your engine. Feel the snap of the G-force as you release your clutch. I can understand that. This is the world of drag racing as recreated by Shirley Muldowney. I like it. 3 times world champion in the professional top fuel dragsters. Tensely wait for the Christmas tree lights, then pop your throttle and power your way down the 440 yards in head-to-head challenge with Shirley in one of her best championship races. But be careful, don't red light, smoke your tyres or blow your engine. There's a long season ahead. The problem with dragster racing as a video game is they just rev up and then they go straight. That's it. That's the end of the race. I'm not surprised you guys haven't played that. It's not a great concept for a racing game, is it? A racing game on just a dead straight with no corners. You just stop. That's it. You go and then you stop. Yeah, I stopped. Right? Weird. It's yeah. I mean, it's fun. It's exciting to go and watch, I'm sure. But to actually play a game of it, I don't know. Not so good. Let's carry on. What about this one? This is Dark Castle. This is a rare one. Check out Dark Castle. Yeah, so a nice fun platformer. Lovely condition, this Mirrorsoft. Separate manual. So let's get it out here. It's got some screenshots. We've got oh no, it's not a separate manual, it's a warranty. Mirrorsoft warranty, beautiful condition. Very rare. Commodore 64, double case game. I love double case games. Felt like you were getting good quality game, but still the convenience of nice shelf alignment. Yeah, double case. I like double case. It's a lot better than Hit Squad. Get over yourselves. Few more left, few more. What's this? This is White Viper, another Commodore 64 rarity on the Sparklers label. Thorn EMI, the massive media company's little foray into the world of video gaming, and that turned into Creative Sparks, and then this is the budget range Sparklers, White Viper, rare title. White Viper, yeah, White Viper there. Oh, one of my favourite labels, Quicksilver, you know, very early, massive on ZX81 and the Spectrum and the Commodore. And this is an unusual game, this is Seesaw. Seesaw for the Commodore 64. Let's check it out. Unusually, they actually put a screenshot in an inlay, which is not. They did do it with Fred. I remember on the Spectrum, Fred has a screenshot inside. This really, they were leading edge, cutting edge screenshots on the back of games. That wasn't a thing until about, well, when's this? 1984, is it? Yeah, 1984. He got it right. Yeah, that's kind of when it came in, and there was a massive shock when Firebird, the Silverbird budget range, had screenshots on the front cover. Sparklers did that as well. Not that game that I just showed you, but Sparklers did put on the front cover. And you knew what you was getting. You knew what you were getting. Nobody felt scammed. Last game in the box. Last game, and what game is it? It is, oh, it's a nice one. Evil Dead. The Evil Dead, based on the Sam Raimi horror film. It's just such a beautiful item. It's hard to believe they made a video game of this with the proper video kind of look. It's a little bit ragged. The tape label on this is a little bit worn out, but red tape. That's red for blood. And yeah, the inlay is gorgeous. Very rare now. Very collectible. Very nice. Commodore 60 version was programmed by Richard Linefeller. The problem is, I did show this on our Halloween special back on the show that hardly anybody watched, the Halloween one. I made a special soundtrack for the feature. I'm going to have to dig it out next Halloween. This game, it doesn't look like you want the Evil Dead to look. And that was The Evil Dead, and that me box is empty. It's another week done. Thank you for watching. I'll be back midweek next week with another junk box. But in the meantime, happy retro gaming, retro gamers!
Retrogames says thank you for watching. Retrogames says thank you for watching.
And I do sincerely hope you all have a wonderful weekend.